Hello and welcome back to another episode of whatever I'm doing here at Mike's Gauntlet. I called it Mike's Gauntlet because it's an ultimate challenge, and I welcome challenge and embrace struggle. So I'm a homeless individual, and I don't consent to the use of an address that is not my own. So that means I'm not going to supplement an address on paperwork that is not my own ever again. I don't have an address. I don't have a definitive address in this world, and I'm okay with that. I'm home free. This video is going to cover the treatment at the South Boston, Virginia post office. The postmaster, I walked in one day. I knew that I would be needing to receive general delivery mail. And the process I took this day to procure general delivery was I went inside the post office and I introduced myself directly to the postmaster. I explained to him that I was a homeless resident of South Boston, Virginia. I do not have an address, and I would be looking forward to general delivery, and if he could please look out for general delivery mail with my name on it and set it aside so he was familiar with the situation so he can better serve me. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do on your end. Now, general delivery is put in place for people without an address, people that travel, people that need to pick things up on the road, people without a home. It is an actual policy to assist others with general delivery if they have a form of ID. I had an ID, had a form of ID. The postmaster told me that I had to have an address. He lied to me. He created a new hurdle for me to try to overcome to achieve services that I was rightfully able to retrieve from this agency. I had told him the first visit that what he was doing was wrong, and I told him that he's creating new policies and procedures to circumvent what's already in place to not begin to help me. I wanted to show him policy off the USPS website, which he refused to acknowledge was there on my phone and even begin to take a look at. He had threatened to call law enforcement on me and told me if I came back escalating my concerns, then he would call law enforcement. I'm not a pussy and I'm not afraid. I came back and I spoke with a woman who was working below the postmaster. Postmaster wasn't there that day. And I told her what was going on. I told him he violated my rights. I told him he's making up policies, and I showed her the policy, and she kind of had an idea what I was talking about. I asked her to please go over the postmaster's head to an area manager of some sort and potentially alleviate my concerns of the troubles that they just caused me, the extra hard work, the hoops that made me jump through. I asked for consideration and a courtesy of providing me a P.O. box as a result of the mistreatment I endured. I was asking for a favor to alleviate the problems and move on. It is policy that you have to have an address to begin to have a P.O. box. So they may not have even been able to do that for me because I don't have an address. Now, I came back a third time, and that second time the postmaster popped out of the back, and he told me that he'd called the cops on me. And whatever, I didn't do anything wrong. He did. So I come back a third time because he didn't want to help me. I've escalated this now to the Postmaster General's office. They have been made aware of my complaint at the local level. Have they corresponded back with me other than to deflect guilt? No. They said, we're not relative to the problem and we can't help you. I'm like, wow, this is a common occurrence. They did this at the commissioner's office within the DMV. They're covering it up. So I come back a third time after I realized that the Postmaster General's office isn't going to get back to me. So I come in ready to have the cops called on me. And I approached the postmaster in the same way that he told me he would call the police on me if I continued to escalate my concerns about receiving general delivery. So I start to approach with addressing my concerns and going into how they are creating hurdles for me that are unnecessary. His whole demeanor changed. He did a 180. He wasn't the same person, and it's because his boss probably had a talk with him. If his boss was a good boss, he said, hey, look, man, you violated this guy's rights. You better tighten up. He might pop back up, and you need to know how to handle this. So the postmaster was probably tipped off and most informed, knowing he screwed up. He asked me, he said, you're talking a lot about civil rights violations and this and that and the violations of how can we help you? What can I do for you today to help you out? If it's general delivery, we'll take care of you. And I'm sitting here thinking, why the sudden change in your demeanor? You refused me all because I was homeless to begin with, and come to find out, I have a video I should be uploading here, and it's the video of this day. I recorded the final confrontation of his whole demeanor changing. I got him on video saying in his testimony that he had reported me as a security threat to this agency, to his boss. He reported a homeless man who wanted to just receive mail and bring a complaint of service to the attention of the agency. He reported me as a security threat to this agency. So I might have an idea now in the back of my head why the Postmaster General didn't take me seriously. Well, things might have been fabricated and he might have spit his own story upstairs. So as I'm on video, I'm like, look, so you reported me for not having an address and being homeless, for just wanting mail, and did you not report me to try to cover up your crimes against me? Because it sounds like it. And that's the case. So he wanted to serve me general delivery at that point, to which I told him, look, I needed mail yesterday. I had some things come in and I needed a place for them to go to receive them, and I didn't have that right because you denied me of that right. So I said, as far as receiving mail here goes, I don't feel comfortable because I don't know what you're capable of. I don't know if you're going to take a $5 check out of an envelope and seal it back up stealing from me. I don't know. You're going to report me for being a potential security threat just for needing mail and wanting to report you for mistreatment. So that is my complaint with the South Boston Post Office at the local level in the town of South Boston. In the last video, I covered my complaint at the local town tax office at the local town level. This video covers a complaint on the federal level within my local community. So these 3 videos I just uploaded, I came back to town and I'm doing things differently. I'm doing them right. I'm knowledgeable. I'm aware of what's going on. And you know what? I'm going to fight to make sure these people aren't keeping me down and my brothers and sisters out here down too. These people in office have been employed to do jobs for their community. They failed me to diligently do their jobs that they've been hired to do. I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out, Postmaster in South Boston. I'm calling you out, Lisa, manager at the DMV in South Boston, Virginia. And I think I'm calling out the other Lisa in our town office in the town of South Boston because, well, you all 3 have violated my civil rights and my 14th Amendment, and you refuse service to me, even threatening me with law enforcement when you yourselves were wrong and violated a federal law. You violated my civil rights. That's a federal matter. Trying to cover it up and sweep me under the mat by hiring local law enforcement. I get it. You support them. You pay their taxes. So why not use them to cover up your crimes against somebody who doesn't have much of the ability to fight to begin with. But joke's on you. I don't stop fighting. I see things popping up. It's like a glitch. People may be commenting. If so, I'm missing it. We'll come back to it. I'm done with this video. I did say that I've escalated it to the Postmaster General, and they didn't care. They chose not to care and chose to ignore the rights violation that occurred. This is not like McDonald's and Burger King, where you approach a manor. The appropriate step in matters like this is to file a claim against the agency, and complaint forms make who aware? People that want to conspire to cover up crimes, people that don't want to be held accountable for crimes, because this isn't saying I got you. It's that filing of a claim in court that says I got you, you did wrong, and it's up to you now to make it right. Complaint forms, don't hold them accountable and responsible for the complaints, even if they're legit. And it does not ensure that they have to make anything right at all. They don't even have to acknowledge you, which has been the case. So I'm sharing this information to enlighten others, and I encourage you to share my videos. Share, please, share. I want to make a change and create a way for people to thrive without money and without an address. I think I'm doing good without both. I've got myself my own makeshift housing, and not trying to have it taken from me. I will fight for this tooth and nail, but what I'm seeing here is things that are going down across the board that we need to address. And we need to address them yesterday, like everything else in the world that's fucked that needs a change. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for sticking with me. I see I got 2 people watching. I'm very grateful for you tuning in today. Please be interactive. If you have any questions, if you feel I may not have addressed something that you're clueless of that I could touch on in regards to why I may have did a certain thing. I didn't give every little detail through and through. He said, she said. It's a brief synopsis, and I am not fabricating anything. I'm not adding anything, and I'm not missing anything of importance. So, yeah, that's it. You guys have a wonderful day. Take care. Thanks for tuning in.